What's up, everyone? It's Tony here with Nerds in Sleep, bringing you guys another Iron Studios unboxing. Today I have Big Boy for you all, and I'm pretty excited about getting this one. I did get it for myself a little while ago and just have not had room to put it anywhere yet. But I don't want to wait any longer. I want to open him up, and it was either him or Mojo for my Big Boy, and I'm still just very intimidated by opening Mojo right now. So this is actually another of the 1/10 scale Sentinel Battle Diorama series of the X-Men line by, again, Iron Studios. And this is the Apocalypse Deluxe Edition. So there was a standard version of him where he just had like a drill arm kind of up in the air. And this one has more like, it looks like he's ripping a piece of a Sentinel off. So yeah, it looks like, I'm looking at the back of the piece right now. It looks like it's going to be really intense. And from what I understand, he's also going to have multiple different heads. So I'm trying to peek around the corner here. I know the box is very, very big. I'm pretty hyped about this one. And so far, from what I've unboxed here on the channel, Juggernaut has been, the biggest thing. And I think this one is going to take the prize of being our biggest piece now. So definitely have to get my new shelving up this week for my Iron Studios Avengers and my Iron Studios X-Men, because there's a lot. So anyways, I'm going to bring you guys over and try to show you this box. I know normally I bring you guys up close and kind of bring you around it, but this box is massive and he's a little heavy, so I don't want to screw around too much with it, but I'm going to put him up here and I'm going to try to rotate it around for you guys so you can take a look at the box, and then we're going to get to opening him up. So let's check it out right now. All right, so I'm standing with the box here, so you can obviously see it's pretty big. On the table here, it's actually almost up to my shoulders. So this box is really big. As always, we've got all of our Iron Studio stuff here. We've got the Marvel Comics. We've got the 1/10 BDS. We've got a circular picture, which is the newer kind of style box, obviously, with our X-Men logo and the Apocalypse design, or the words. And then over here, on the other side, I want to make sure I'm careful. I don't want to knock him over. We've obviously got our Iron Studios logo and stuff like that. On the back, we reveal the Big Boy himself. And again, this is the deluxe edition where he's going to have the hand up, or the arm up here, ripping a piece of the Sentinel apart. So, and then over here on the side, we've got Apocalypse. Ooh, almost knocked him over. And the Iron Studios logo as well. And I'm not going to tilt it and bring him up top, but it just has the X-Men logo and Apocalypse up top. So again, this is a big boy. I mean, I can put my arms around him, it's a big box. So it does have some weight to it, definitely. So hopefully I have room on the table, but let's take this guy to the box and see what he looks like. Okay, so as you can see, this box is massive. Even the styrofoam. I already went around and I cut everything because I don't want to waste much time. So I'm probably going to be standing up during some of this video and sitting down because I'm going to have to reach around to a lot of different pieces. I'm going to try to assemble it right here on the turntable. And then obviously I'm going to bring you guys in and let you guys take a look at it up close. So without further ado, let's see what is inside this big old box. So before I even do that, I just say they do keep their stuff very secure. There's even styrofoam protecting the stuff inside of the styrofoam. Okay, so it looks like we have a lot of pieces here. Judging by the foot right here, that is Apocalypse himself. So I'm going to start with this right here, which I'm going to assume is our base. And I'm going to make a spot real quick to put all this stuff down on the ground. I'm going to guess this is the base. It is big and it is heavy. So yeah, this is a giant base. I'm going to bring this out first and let you guys take a look at that piece. Get all this wrap off of it. Let's see, will it fit on here? It does. Okay. So, again, here is the base. It does have a large base. I think he actually has a bigger base than the Juggernaut did. So we're going to have some concrete everywhere. Definitely some dragging marks through the mud here. And we do have, as always, a piece of a torn up Sentinel. On the bottom here, we're going to have Iron Studios X-Men Apocalypse. So, I'm going to draw the assumption that he's going to position somewhere like this, because this is, I believe, the front. Actually, yes, I think this is actually the side. So I believe it goes like this. So figure that out. But we do have some smaller parts here. We have hands. So we do have hands, and his hands are pretty big. I don't think they're as big as Juggernaut's, but they're big. Over here, this is actually a piece from the deluxe edition right here. This is the arm with the drill bit kind of ripping a piece of the Sentinel off. So that is going to be there. Yes, we do have two heads. So we have Angry Apocalypse, which that one looks really cool. And we have kind of grunting, gritting his teeth Apocalypse. So I am going to be using the open mouth head for my display. And it looks like we have here, we have another Sentinel piece, which I think is going to be on the base somewhere, or attach into something, actually. So, not really sure. That could actually be his other arm. This is another piece of the Sentinel. Sorry, that was wrong. So we have another piece of the Sentinel right here. It looks like it's being ripped apart. And I believe that's going to actually just key in right down here. So, yeah, that's going to key in down to the bottom of the base here. So, lots of pieces, lots of big pieces. And I'm assuming this, obviously, is going to be the big man himself. And fingers crossed it all comes out all right. Had good luck so far. Okay, so he has a big old body. Looks really, really cool. He even has some damage, some battle damage, like all these other ones have. Dirt on the boots, love it. The body looks very big. He has pieces kind of hanging off here, which I'm assuming are going to plug into the ripped apart Sentinel. So there's a bunch of tissue paper here you're going to have to kind of finagle. Obviously, they're keeping these things safe so nothing gets damaged. Take all that off real quick. And this one is actually taped on, so I'm going to have to get my cutter and cut this off. So I will do that and be right back. All right, I'm back. Cut the tape off of his pieces over here. And now we should be able to assemble him. So I did have it backwards. So this is actually going to be the front right here. And he's going to key all in. But there is actually no instructions on where to plug everything. So I'm going to have to just kind of eyeball it all. Obviously, this is going to plug right in here like that. So we're going to have a big piece of a Sentinel right here. Plugged in. And Apocalypse himself. And again, he is a big boy. I don't know if he's bigger than Juggernaut, but he is a big boy, and he should key right in. Let's hope. Boom, he keys right in. So that's beautiful already. I'm seeing, and I've heard people complain about scuff marks on his paint. I feel like the scuffing is intentional. It's battle damage. So I don't have an issue with that at all. I don't feel it takes away from the statue at all. So I'm going to spin it this way real quick, just so I can look at what I'm doing. Obviously, his hand, I'll spin it around as I'm doing it. His hand is going to have a magnet on it, and it should pop right in there. Boom. I'm going to put his head on, just so I have his head. Again, I am going to use the open mouth head. His head should, again, just key right in. Boom. Done. So it looks a little daunting, but it is pretty easy assembly-wise, because I believe we only have two more pieces. So this is actually a piece of his arm. that is going to connect with this piece of his arm. And then I believe we're just going to have his head. So again, this is actually, I've been told it was a pain in the butt to assemble, and I don't think he's actually that bad. So one side is going to have something to plug in here, and the other is not. So, oh, actually, you know what? I am wrong. So this, and I'm going to show you both. I am an idiot. This is actually a cannon arm. So I believe this is what your standard edition looked like. So you have the cannon arm, and then we also can take that off, and we can plug in the deluxe edition arm, which is what I'm going to be using. So that is going to plug right down. And excuse me, there are some cables here. So the cables are going to have to get connected as well. And they are very flexible, so it's not a big deal. And I can see exactly where. I'm going to bring you guys around and let you guys see real quick. There's actually a peg right here that this cable will go up to. So I'm going to connect that up in a second. And I'm going to show you guys here as well. His other arm, the cannon arm, actually has a plug as well. So it kind of depends on what you want to display it with. I'm going to keep this out, and I'm going to keep the extra head out so you guys can actually take a look up close as to what it looks like with each. But I'm really digging this. I feel like it was a very easy assembly, not nearly as daunting as everyone was telling me. He went together very quickly. So easy assembly, massive piece. I'm really liking this. I'm excited to let you guys get in here and take a closer look. So let me get rid of all this giant mess of packing material and let you come in and check out Apocalypse in all his glory. And I'm going to try to bring Juggernaut down here as well so you guys can see the scale and size. So I think Apocalypse might be smaller than Juggernaut. So we'll see. But I'm going to clear this off, bring you guys in, and let you take a closer look at them. So be right back. All right, so I know normally I kind of take free cam and kind of go around these pieces, but as you can see here, um, Apocalypse is very big, and I actually have to keep the camera kind of zoomed out like this just to fit this entire piece in the frame, especially with the deluxe edition having the extra height, because I believe had I just used the Canon, it would have been a little bit shorter. But again, this is actually what I believe comes on the standard edition, which is his arm cannon. And again, there is a little hose or a plug right here that you can plug into whichever arm you decide to use. So you can actually just use his big cannon arm, which is very cool. But I think having this piece here and just having it being ripped apart does look really good together. And again, he does have a kind of gritting his teeth face too, which I would probably partner up with the Canon, but I will show them after I do this 360. So I am going to let you guys just take this thing in from far away, and I'm going to go around to the camera and go free cam and kind of let you check out all the details here, because this thing is awesome. Like, he is really, really cool. And I'm going to go slow because I'm going to admire this thing as well. Just like with all the other Iron Studios X-Men pieces, I really like the level of detail in the paintwork. And I know people complain about having the scuffs and the scratches all over him, but when you look at this scale of what has become this X-Men diorama, there's a giant battle going on. And even when, like I said, I don't have the Sentinels, but the Sentinels are several feet tall. They're like 2.5 feet tall, maybe 3 feet tall, some of them. So you'd have them on this massive scale. I know I'm going out of frame with these giant, beasts or, robots, but I feel like they should look all scratched up and damaged and banged up. So there are some gouges in his, in his armor. There are some major scuffs into the paint and everything else. He has on his calf right here, he has several gouges right here. There's gouges right here. It looks really cool, but as you can also see, there are these cut up Sentinel pieces as well from, other aspects of the battle probably. So like I said, you can set it up whichever way you want. And I just think it looks really, really cool. I mean, he's got one little one little tiny, probably it looks like a little tiny paint defect right up here. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. Because it just kind of looks like battle damage. It's a little dot on there, but all in all, this thing is sick, and I am so happy I went for the deluxe version because I do like this look better, I think, than having just him raising his cannon up. Uh, and like I said, I will swap these out at one point just to show you. But I'm gonna bring you guys in and let you guys kind of take this whole thing in up close and all the details from the mud and his feet kind of pushing through the mud. There's definitely a motion to this piece, just from the way the mud is kind of just separating underneath the pressure of this massive, beast of a mutant just ripping things apart. So I think it adds to it by having this deluxe edition and having these pieces falling everywhere. I think it definitely adds to it. Whereas I think the canon, it'll look cool, but it's not going to look as epic like this just because, like I said, and I'll show you guys closer, the just look of just the force that he's using, because you can see it in the mud and the ground just separating underneath his feet. And it is really impressive. It's very, very cool. Now, had they had, you know, the cannon here, be a swap out for this hand, where you could kind of put the cannon right there and he could have the cannon on his arm, like that would be badass. And part of me wants to just see if I can get a magnet and just put this on here myself. Because now that would look badass. If you had the cannon arm and the drill arm and you just had him going to town, that would look really cool. So I might actually see if I can get a magnet and just pop that in myself, because that's a pretty good idea. Any of you custom guys out there, let me know. But anyways, I'm going to bring you guys in close now. I'm going to stop gushing about this thing before my final thoughts and bring you guys in, and I'm going to go free cam, and I'm going to be showing you guys all the little details and everything else, because there is a lot to this piece. He's awesome looking. So let's go and zoom you guys in. Okay, I'm just going to kind of do this right now because, I mean, you have to appreciate just the look of this thing again, because this is just awesome. Just looking at it from a distance is just, he is impressive. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring you guys in closer, and I'm going to show you guys first, again, this is swap out head right here, which is his angry face right here. So cool looking. He looks pissed off. And this is his cannon arm, his Megatron arm. As you can see, it's got battle damage. It's got scuffs all over it. It looks really cool. And there's kind of the cannon front right there. There's kind of like some armor plating here from, his own, transforming, because Apocalypse can kind of do that with his arms. So very cool. But I think after I show you, I'm going to just do this real quick. That arm is way more badass looking to me. But again, had they have given you an option to put this here, that would be sick. So I'm going to look into being able to do that myself, actually. But I'm going to come in a little closer here. And I'm going to let you guys see, as always, the base. Because you can see here, try to get some more light for you guys real quick. Yeah, the typical damaged, concrete and everything else from the school. And again, we have the dirt and the mud here. And again, another detail I really like about these is how the boots and everything else of all these characters have some kind of debris and mud and everything else all over it. Really, really like that. So as you can see, I'm going to go up a little bit. You can see where the mud is kind of just separating, like the ground separates down in here. And it looks really cool. And you can kind of see, I'll bring the light around, but you could definitely see where the ground kind of separates, almost like, under the pressure of this behemoth. And I like that. I love that attention to detail. So again, more attention to detail in these pieces is amazing. So now where was I? I was over here. And then we got another kind of severed sentinel piece over here. Again, the attention to detail on these is so good. I went a little too fast, but as you can see, even here, there's cuts. things like that. You've got all your wires and stuff like that coming off the Sentinel. And again, even with the boots, I mean, the boots look dirty. They look dingy. They look like they've been, again, in the mud, because you can see the mud right here. And it's just kind of going. Try to, there we go, get a little bit more focus for you guys. Sorry about that. My camera has been acting a little wonky, but you can even see again, there's damage over here. We've got, again, the piece of the Sentinel kind of embedded here. And this was the piece that you actually had to plug into the base. So it is the kind of destroyed piece of the Sentinel that he's ripping apart. Now, you probably can actually take this out if you don't want to use this arm, because obviously it looks like it's being torn from this piece right here. So very, very cool. I'm going to go back to the front now, and we are going to take a closer look. Now he's got the big, big, big boy legs. He's got his A logo here, which, hopefully we get Avalanche and we'll see another A logo, around the piece. And his hands are big. Not as big as Juggernaut's, but they are big. He's got the big giant muscles, and again, up here, he's got, sorry about that. He does have battle damage up here on his cowl and everything else, and his shoulder pieces. So there is the angry face right here. Go back down, let you see again before I take you to the arm. And again, there's debris kind of hanging off of the wiring, which is kind of cool right here. And we're going to go up to the kind of severed piece. Again, it's all battle damaged. Very, very cool. And again, very, very detailed. These are 1/10, but these are amazingly well detailed. And I'll bring you around here. And here is the drill arm, which is the deluxe edition kind of version. And I just think that looks so much more badass. So bring you around the back again real quick. Show you the details on his back. And again, he's got all his little wires, his tubing, and everything else kind of coming off his shoulder area here. And they're going to his arm gauntlets, which, just look really great. And again, you see the detail here. Everything just works. It just goes together so nicely. And yeah, he is quite the amazing piece altogether. Now I'm going to bring you around. I'm going to pause, and I'm going to switch these swap outs out so you guys can kind of take a look at what they look like. Okay, so even as you can see, this standard thing is awesome looking as well, even with the cannon and the head. Now, one thing I noticed after putting the head on, I'm going to zoom you guys in, take you a look at it really again, but this head, he's looking dead on at you. Whereas the other head, I'm going to swap it out right now for you. The other head, he's actually looking up for the deluxe head. So he's looking up at what he's tearing off, basically, with the deluxe edition. So very cool that they actually even made that little detail. I do like that. And this one looks more like he's just kind of staring dead at you like you don't want to mess with me, So very cool. Either way you look at it, he is an impressive piece. So very cool. And I am going to swap back out right now and come right back. All right, just for a quick scale check here. This is just kind of, this is the Logan I did more recently. Obviously Apocalypse. So he does stand taller than Juggernaut, but I feel like if Juggernaut wasn't bent and kind of like in a bracing position, he would actually stand taller than Apocalypse. So just kind of giving you guys a little scale check here, a reference check. So you guys can kind of just see how they do scale together, and they do look pretty. This trio right here is just pretty badass altogether. So now I'm going to take you guys out and give you my final thoughts on Apocalypse Deluxe Edition. All right, so that's it for this amazing piece from Iron Studios. that's it for this unboxing. And I know it was a little bit longer than normal because he was just so big and there were so many details to get through and there were swap outs to check out and everything else. But I gotta tell you guys, and I say this with every one of their pieces, and I know I'm getting my face cut off right now, but Iron Studios with this X-Men line has just been destroying it. Every single piece that I have done and I have highlighted and I have unboxed on this channel so far has just been one after another of just hits. This thing is freaking amazing. I love this piece, and it now may be one of my top. I can't say it is my favorite as of yet, but just the sheer scope and the scale of this and the just menacing look they gave him and just everything about the add-ons for the deluxe edition, the little details to him just looking his head up rather than looking straight ahead for the deluxe version is just freaking awesome. My only thing I would really, really love is I would love to have been able to swap this handout for the standard canon because that would have just been perfect. So again, I'm going to try to put a magnet inside there myself and try to see if I can get it to do it myself. And if I do, I will make sure I post photos for you guys. But this thing is just so friggin' awesome. He does on his own and with the other smaller proxy pieces, he does look huge. He looks imposing. He does. But when you size him up with the Juggernaut is dwarfing Apocalypse still. And you know, in some parts, you know, in some books and everything else, Apocalypse does have a smaller size than Juggernaut because Juggernaut is always a big, huge, hulking thing. But I feel like since Apocalypse can grow in size, maybe they could have scaled him a little bit bigger, even just to make it where his hands were the same size as Juggernaut's hands. Because you look at Juggernaut and even his feet, they're just freaking massive. But Apocalypse is more like I don't want to say normal sized person, but he can manipulate his shape and his size. So it is good and it does work exactly for what it is, especially because you're not going to be. I don't think anybody's putting Apocalypse and Juggernaut next to each other. So where I have Juggernaut kind of running at Colossus, who's throwing a piece of a Sentinel, you know. Which I may actually have him against Apocalypse instead now, throwing something at Apocalypse. But even still, you could actually put Apocalypse on the side of the X-Men because with the newer books for a time, he was, I guess, reformed, if you want to say. So you can, again, display these any way you want. And this piece, I'm going to say it, I mean, I would love to give him a 10. I really would. I mean, he does have one little imperfection on his back here. That's just a little paint blob. But I honestly want to give this a 10. But I don't know if I'm going to find one I like better. So I think the highest score I've been giving things is a 9 or a 9.5. So I'm going to definitely give this guy high 9, 9.5. Because this thing is just freaking mwah. It's chef's kiss. It is awesome. And I know I keep saying that about every one of these pieces that I open. I know I did that with Sauron recently. I did that with Sabretooth. These are just fantastic pieces. And they just keep getting better. Like, I don't know how they're going to top this line. But they do have their Infinity War, I believe it is, line coming up. Where it's going to have your Avengers, your X-Men, it's going to have everybody. So that could end up destroying this line if they keep it up. Now, I started out doing the MCU stuff from them, which were very impressive. But again, they're more realistic. So, you know, you're going to have the characters obviously look like your real-life counterparts. Some of them didn't quite stick it. But with this stuff based off the comic likenesses, holy shit, excuse my language, they're nailing it. Because with these comic book looks, you don't have to go for realism as long as you're going towards that amazing, comic accurate, just coming off the pages, coming off your screen if you're a fan of the 90s cartoon as well. Like, these are the classic X-Men, the classic costumes, like, and I just love it. I love everything about this line, even to the point where I've gotten characters that I don't even care about. Like, I do have Havoc back here. Didn't really care about him without Polaris. Like, I want Polaris too. So Iron Studios, get on that for us. Come on. But there are characters I don't typically care about. Cyclops. I wasn't really a fan of his standalone figure, or his standalone statue rather, but I did get him. I ended up getting him with a deal with Rogue, so I got the two of them together. Almost have my complete OG set now. I need to find Beast and I need to find Archangel. So if you're out there and you're watching and you know where I can get one, hook me up. But anyways, enough gushing about this piece and this line, because I don't know how they're going to even improve on these, because these are just friggin' amazing. And I know he has a hefty price point. I think this one, I think he was $300, and then I think the deluxe, I think, was $345, something like that. But I did use Iron Studios' amazing offer they had with buy one get one half price. So I did end up getting him in another piece for practically nothing, and used my rewards. So it worked out for me. But I definitely am looking forward to doing more of these. I do have, again, before I let you guys go, I'm going to tell you I do have Bishop, I have Magic, I have Deadpool, I have Jean Grey, Cyclops, Rogue, Havoc, Scarlet Witch, and I think that's all I have currently here to unbox. And Psylocke as well. And I do have some other ones on the way. The only one I'm a little bit skeptical about is X-23, and it's a damn shame because I really love how the character looks. But from what I've seen of that piece so far, she looks like a really missed opportunity. So I may forego getting that one and just hope they redo Laura with a cooler pose, her mask, a cooler costume look, and just, I don't think she's one I'm going to get. I may have to pass on her. Not having the mask on her face was kind of a big thing for me too. But I just feel like she was a very missed opportunity. And unless I can get her during a sale or with rewards, I'm probably going to hold off on her. And it hurts me to say that. So I have seen her in person and I was not a fan. But the rest of these, I have not had an issue with any of these pieces yet. Even like Iceman and Pyro, who I was kind of like, they'll probably look cool. They came out so good. And we also need to get Avalanche in this line as well. So there's a couple new ones for you, Iron Studios. Keep it going. Keep them coming, and I'll keep buying them. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this kind of long-winded video, because I was very excited about this piece and I thought he was just freaking awesome. But again, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you guys like this piece as much as I do, and then I'm just not crazy. And again, check out social medias, link down below. The link tree is there for photos and things like that. I'm going to try to do little shorts to put up on TikTok and things like that as well. But all in all, let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know if there's any characters you want me to do next. And then let me know what you guys also think they should do for X-Men characters next. And what else you're looking forward to as far as the, I believe it's Secret Wars or Infinity Wars line that they're doing next with kind of everybody. So, but yeah, thank you guys again for watching. Click the like button, click that subscribe button. The channel's been blowing up. We got over 700 subscribers now. Very excited. I'm getting closer and closer to that 1,000 sub mark. And I will be starting to do giveaways after I hit that 1,000 sub milestone. I still have to get the watch hours down to become monetized, but hopefully you guys are enjoying the longer form content, sticking with it. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.